What's up guys? Welcome to my channel. If you've been here before, welcome back. Today I want to talk about online thrifting. So I know that thrifting videos and thrifting hauls are really popular on here, and there's a lot of videos that I have personally watched about that have tips about how to go thrifting in a store effectively, where to find all the best stuff, all that kind of thing. But something I don't see a lot of is people talking about online thrifting, and I think this is becoming a more and more popular thing. We've seen a lot of YouTubers that are sponsored by places like ThredUp. I will start out by saying, and probably repeat again later, that this video is not sponsored by anybody. I just wanted to try out ThredUp specifically, but also share some of my tips about how to thrift on other major online stores. Probably the first thing that comes to your mind when you think of online thrifting, eBay. eBay has been around forever. I personally use eBay all the time whenever I am looking for something like a video game or books, anything like that. Even when I was buying books for school and college, I would always check eBay first. You could usually get really good deals. I will show you a couple of things that I have gotten from eBay recently. I cheated a little. Some stuff in this video I've had for a while, but it's still like a great example, and I didn't want to just blow a ton of money just for the sake of this video. So the couple of things I've gotten off eBay, we'll start with this one. So I've actually had this for a couple of years, but I'm still really jazzed. I pretty much tell anyone about it when I can. So I am obsessed with Alexander McQueen, and I got this a couple of years ago. I got this new with the tag. It's authentic. It has the real Alexander McQueen tag. It has the Alexander McQueen monogram on it. These scarves, I think they still make these. They're really popular. These usually run about $200, and I got this one off eBay, brand spanking new, a couple of years ago for $35, I think. So I'm really proud. I don't wear scarves a lot, but I don't think I will ever get rid of this because this is my one Alexander McQueen item that I own. More recently, set that off to the side, I got these off of eBay. These are, I think they were almost brand new. They did not come in the box, but these are the GH Bass Weegens. These shoes I think usually run from like $75 to $100. They're really well made. They're genuine leather, but I got these off eBay for $40, and that included shipping, which I thought was a really good deal. I knew that these were in good enough shape that if they didn't fit, I could probably turn around and sell them again and get my money back. They are a little big, but I have some fancy arch support insoles that I can put inside these, and then they fit great. I'm still breaking them in. Like, they were that new that they're not even really broken in yet, but I'm really excited about these. Hot tip number one. Always, always, always read the fine print. On sites like eBay and Etsy, not a lot of sellers offer returns, and if they do, you usually are responsible for paying return shipping, and sometimes it's not even worth it. So always make sure you're looking at what their return policy is. Usually if you scroll down past an item description, especially on eBay, there are usually more photos. Make sure you are really paying attention to what you're getting. Check out the reviews of a seller. That'll usually tell you a lot about them. As far as my personal experience, I usually find that user reviews on Etsy are a little bit more trustworthy. So always, always, always check the fine print. Do as much research as you do as much research as you can before you buy something. Next, let's talk about Etsy. So Etsy, I find, is usually more if you don't use it. It's also been around for a while. Etsy is for vintage and handmade items. I believe their rules about vintage things are still the same. I think their sort of bylaws say that if it's 20 years old, it counts as vintage. I think well, not a problem, but something I run into a lot with Etsy is that it's a lot of really jacked up prices for vintage things. I don't think I would shop there for just kind of everyday things. If I'm going to buy something on Etsy, it needs to be something that is really special. I have a huge obsession with Minnie Mouse, and I'm really into anything from like 80s and 90s vintage Minnie Mouse, like sweatshirts, t-shirts, that kind of stuff that's in good shape. I look for that kind of thing on Etsy and eBay all the time. So that's something that I'm willing to pay a little bit more for than just a random vintage t-shirt that I could get at the thrift store for like less than $10. So it has to be a special item for me to go and buy it off of there. The one thing I wanted to show you from Etsy, I have had these for years and years now, but they're still really cool, and it's kind of a good example of what I'm talking about. So I think vintage shorts are one of the things that have really gone off the rails as far as people jacking the prices up. These are Zena? I don't know. I actually had to size these up, which I will do a video in a few weeks probably about that if you're interested on how to size up denim shorts, but I just thought these were like the craziest. Like, they're so cool. I love the wash. I love the plaid. I'm obsessed with anything plaid. I have a million plaid skirts that I have made in my closet. But just the wash, the button-up detail, I love them so much. And I think these were like $35, $40, I think, which was high for me at the time. But like I said, I just thought these were super special. And I had to have them. And I think things like that you can't stop thinking about, you can't live without, that's the kind of stuff I am okay with saving up or splurging on, versus just, paying a jacked up price for something I could find at a thrift store. Alright, so let's talk about ThredUp. Once again, this is not sponsored. I have seen many videos of YouTubers I watch that are sponsored by ThredUp, and I just wanted to give it a try. It's not that I don't trust that their opinions are unbiased, but I just wanted to try it out for myself. I'm going to give more of a well-rounded view of this because I think, as far as I know, other than Depop and Poshmark, this is kind of new as far as a huge platform to sell thrifted clothing. They also allow you to donate clothes, and you can either get store credit or get money for it. I actually just ordered a kit. They send you this like big giant plastic envelope that you're supposed to send them a bunch of clothes in. I haven't done it yet, but I think that's cool that you can get paid maybe for some of this stuff. So I was actually pleasantly surprised. Everything I got either fit great or was just a little too big, which, since I know how to sew, I can take that in really easily. That's not a problem. I fully expected to have to return some things and then be able to talk about that on here, but I didn't have to. The one pair of shoes I got were final sale, but like the shoes I showed you from eBay, their original price was very high, and so I figured they were worth enough that I can probably just resell them and it won't be that big of a deal to get my money back. So I'll show you some things and then talk about some things I kind of had trouble with. So I guess let's start with the shoes because I already mentioned them. So I got these shoes, which are so cool and so insane. I love them. I feel like they're really classy. They're not too out there, but they're really different. But they are it's a little dark. They're so tall. They're tall for me. I don't, I have a couple, I think like 3.5-inch heels that are big chunky boot heels, and that's as far as I'm willing to go. I can walk around in these a little, but I'm very wobbly, and I just don't think I would wear them enough that it would be worth it. So when you get everything from ThredUp, comes with this little tag on it. These are Patron by Perugia. I actually didn't know this brand. I am not well versed in designer shoes because I don't own any. They're in really good shape. So ThredUp will tell you, they'll give you a price of what items like this cost. They have a little like disclaimer that you can mouse over next to it that I think says it's their estimate. These shoes were estimated at $230. I looked them up. I couldn't find just like a store that sells these shoes, but from other pairs of their shoes that I found online, I saw that they ran more about $150. So either way, I paid $25 for these. I did get like a coupon code because it was my first time buying from them, so I think I got 20% off everything. So I think were originally supposed to be $35. I don't know if these are $150 shoes or $230 shoes, but either way, I kind of just wanted to say that I own really expensive shoes. And they're really cool. I walked around in them for a couple of days around the house. They're awesome. I just don't think I would wear them, and so that's not worth it to me. So I am probably going to be listing these on eBay soon. So if you're interested in size 10 fancy shoes, look out for those on eBay. I got this dress. It is a red and black leopard print dress. It has the sort of like handkerchief hem. This one was actually a little big. I took it in at the waist quite a bit. It is super soft, stretchy, like jersey material. It's really comfortable. It's from a brand I've never heard of called Piotto. So ThredUp says that this dress was $60. It's a great dress, but I a little bit don't believe that this was $60, but that's okay. I don't buy $60 dresses ever, so I don't know what they're like. But I love this. I wore it to work already once and got a ton of compliments on it. It's super soft and comfy. I love it a lot. I got another mysteriously $60 dress. This dress, I think without the discount that I got, was like $11. I think I paid like $9 for it. This dress is Lily by Fermiana. I've seen these dresses before. This is just like a really basic knee length purple pleated dress. It's really cute. I love purple. I couldn't pass this one up. Again, I found just kind of some like vague advertisements for these online. I think that's a pretty accurate price for this dress. I think, again, I paid like, or it was about $11. I think I paid like 9 or 10. This is just a plain black skirt that I got from American Apparel. It's just a knee-length skirt, stretchy, again, really comfy. I've been looking for, hello lighting issues. I've been looking for just a plain black skirt to wear with things when I don't want to try that hard at work for a really long time, actually. So I was really excited to find this. American Apparel stuff. It said this ran at about $40. That seemed right. I think I paid $7 for this. Lastly, I got this really cool, I think it's a vintage skirt. The tag looks old, the pattern looks old, but I really love this. It's just like a calf length skirt with this really cool blue and green pattern on it, by Norton McNaughton. I didn't look this one up because It wasn't claiming to be really expensive or anything. ThredUp estimated that this would cost 25 bucks. Seems about right to me. I think I paid 7 or 8 for this one too. So I was super duper pleased that all this stuff fit. It was really cool. I think I ended up paying about 60 something for all of it. There were a couple of issues I had. So for starters, I think you can't get free shipping unless you spend $75, which I feel like when you're trying to buy used clothes, like, that's a lot. That's a lot to spend on used clothing to get free shipping. But I think shipping was like $6 or something, so it wasn't terrible. It wasn't a big deal. I did find that it's hard to search for things on their site. I just don't think they're putting enough tags on their items when they list them. When I just searched for a black skirt, and then it'll ask you if you want to filter it, and so I filtered by knee length skirt, and it brought my results down to like 10 things or something outrageous. Like, everything, it was a huge ordeal to search for everything, and so I searched so long for this skirt, like this plain black skirt. It should have been really easy to search for, and I looked for it forever because it was just so hard to search for. And they do have something that's pretty cool where if you create an account, you can tell them your sizes, and then when you search for things, it'll search for things that are in your sizes. But they have so many different brands on their site, almost all of which probably have a different size chart, but they only have one size chart for the whole site when you look at it. They have a little spot by their items descriptions that says detailed measurements, but almost everything I looked at just said detailed measurements are not available. So I don't know if they just don't have enough people working to add more tags to it or to measure all the items. I know they have a ton of stuff on their site, and they add new stuff like all day, every day. So I know that would be a lot of work, but it's just something I think would make it better. Hot tip number 2, always know your measurements. Always know your measurements. I find that this is incredibly helpful for me when I'm shopping online. I've actually been trying to memorize my foot measurement too, so when I'm buying shoes from different places, I know that if they have it listed. It's no secret that almost every brand has a different size chart, and that changes throughout history. So especially if you're buying vintage clothes, sometimes there's no telling if a pair of pants says size 14, you have no idea what size that really is. But I find if I'm looking for things online and it's not a brand I'm familiar with, then knowing your chest, your waist, like up here on your waist, and your hip, around the widest part of your body, knowing those measurements is a huge help in knowing if things are going to fit you or not. I have sold a couple of things on Etsy before. Anytime I list clothes on there, I always put the measurements in for you. I think if you're going to sell on Etsy or Depop or Poshmark or anything like that, it's really not a complicated thing to do. You just lay the garment flat and put the measurements. Putting measurements on your description of clothing items can be a huge help to you as far as selling, and it really helps out your buyers. So overall, I was really happy with the way things went with ThredUp. I will continue to use other sites, but I think I will probably start checking there for things too. I guess you could count this as hot tip number 3, but I still think, even though I really like to online shop and it can be convenient, checking your local thrift store first I think is always a good idea, especially if it's a locally run place. Then you can support local businesses. I do think as far as Poshmark and Depop are concerned, they are easier to search than ThredUp, but I still feel like I didn't purchase anything from either of those platforms because I thought I had enough stuff for the video, but the kind of more basic things I was looking for that people were selling for like $5 or whatever, like that was great. but you still had to pay for shipping, and it was things that like cardigans that I can probably just find at a Goodwill or my other local thrift stores. So my advice, I think, and what I will continue to do, is always check the thrift store first. Keep a list of things that you might be looking for so you can keep an eye out for them, and then if you really can't find them, then go on to these sort of online platforms and search for things there. I hope you found these tips and this information helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.